Good day everyone! How are you doing? I'm hoping that all of you are safe and doing well. I am Sir Allen and I'll be your teacher in reading and writing skills for today's video. Before we begin, here are some reminders for you. Make sure you have the following as we go along with our virtual class for today. Number 1. Prepare your pen and paper so that you can jot down all the necessary information that you are needing as a quicker reference. Number 2. Make sure that you watch this video in a quiet and comfortable place so that you will not miss any seconds of this video. And lastly, since your health is as important as your learning, make sure to prepare at least a glass of water beside you so that you will feel hydrated all the time. Let's get down now to the main purpose of this lesson. How to make a resume. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to No idea in writing a resume? Don't worry, be part of this journey as we open the door to take a new opportunity. Someone once said, I quoted, "Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life." In this video, these are the following that we will be discussing. Number 1, the introduction. Number 2, checkpoint 1, followed by checkpoint 2, 3, and checkpoint 4. And lastly, the assessment. Let's start our introduction with its title, Picture Reveal. Have you ever seen different symbols that represent a particular scenario? I've gathered different symbols that would help you to reveal a bigger picture of our topic that is mainly related to. These symbols will serve also as your clues, so you better watch out for what is the bigger picture behind these symbols. Come on, let's start guessing what is the bigger picture behind these symbols. So, what have you observed from the picture behind me? There are people sitting and standing in a line. There are also people behind the table and handling a paper. And also, there are people who are reading this paper at the same time. And this picture shows an event or a scenario regarding a job fair. Have you guessed it right too while our activity is ongoing? Well, if it's yes, congratulations! So, as of this moment, let us define what is a job fair. A job fair is also referred commonly as a job expo or a career fair, which is an event at the same time that an employer, recruiter, or a school give an information to all their prospect and potential employees. So now, do you know the important paper that they are handling and reading? That is a resume. You get it right. Let's go back again to our quotation. Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. Do you know whose famous words are this? Let's find out. This saying is from Confucius. He is a Chinese philosopher, a very well-known philosopher and a political tourist, whose words and ideas are profoundly influenced the civilization of China and East Asian countries and Southeast Asian countries, and one of those is the Philippines. These are nice words, right? But it doesn't literally mean that you never have to work a day in your life. Rather, it implies that when you love your work, it feels like a choice but not a burden. To love one's work is really a beautiful thing that is highly and absolutely be encouraged. And to be able to get a job that you really love, let's now try how to make a resume. Resume is originated from a French word that means summary. It is a concise document that highlights your education, your work experiences, and other qualifications such as your skills and strengths. The main purpose of a resume is always to get someone into an interview. It is the first thing that you have to submit before applying in any job that you wanted to. This is a piece of paper that most of the company is requiring you to submit before scheduling an interview. If you have now a good resume, therefore, you are one step closer in getting the job that you are looking for. Now remember, if you are an applicant or a future applicant, your resume is your employee's first impression to you. Bear that in your mind. And that's why you have to be prepared and be knowledgeable on how to write a very good resume. So, how am I going to write a good resume? I think that is the same question that our viewers is asking right now. No worries, I'm gonna give you some points on how to write a good resume. Here are some important points you have to consider in writing a resume. Number 1, assess yourself. Number 2, pick up items that you want to highlight and emphasize. Number 3, you have to create a section of your resume. And lastly, you have to format your resume. In assessing yourself, you have to consider who you are as a person, or as a worker, or as an employee, even who you are as a professional. Ask yourself also, what are your talents, what are your skills, what are the things you participated at, and probably what are the things that you are good at, and what else can you do. In picking items that you want to highlight and emphasize, remember that you have to be brief and keep everything short. Be concise, and you have to make sure that every information are relevant. In creating a section of your resume, you have to rest assured that you will include a section about your basic information, your education, experience, skills and interest, and one section which is optional is the references. Here are the sample sections of a resume. First, under the basic information, we have to include the name, address, contact number, and email address. You don't need to include your birthday anymore, or religion, or any other preferences. For the education part, include the school that you have attended and the specific date or specific year, if possible. If you have received honors, awards, and recognition, you may include them. For the experiences section, you may write the internship, volunteer works, and write their specific dates, when and where if possible. Then indicate the duties, responsibilities, or accomplishment. You need to use action words. They are simply verbs. Under the section of skills and interest, you may include the languages that you know, any computer skills, technical and vocational skills. Since references are optional, it's still important to include people that can attest your personality and your professional experiences. Try to avoid to include any of your family members like your parents or your siblings. You may include in this section your ex-teachers, your former professors, or any team leaders and professionals that you work with. The last point to consider in writing a resume is the format. What are the formats that you will be using in writing a resume? Number 1, make your resume typewritten. Number 2, make it not too long, but make it short and not crowded. Another thing that you have to consider is that make it sure that all the fonts that you will be using are easily to read. The standard margin of a resume is 1 inch in all sides. And lastly, highlight the heading and your name. Make it stand out. For the checkpoint activities, I would like you to use the different materials that I'll be sending to you through your preferred learning modalities. Please rely to this video as your immediate references in completing these tasks. And we are almost there. And for us to conclude our today's discussion, I would like you to scan the code that is flashing on your screen for our 5-item assessment quiz. If you find it hard to access through the generated code, you may use the link of the quizzes application that is flashing on your screen. I am hoping that you're able to get a new knowledge for today's video. Always remember that you have to observe the proper safety protocols for us to keep safe. And remember this, discover, read, enjoy, and experience the challenging adventure of learning different topics of English subject. Have a great day and get blessed. Bye!